Welcome to the New York Outlook for Monday, the 19th of February 2024. Starting off with the economic calendar, what we can see is that we actually don't have any red folder news events for today and tomorrow, like I said in the London Outlook. So it's I guess there's nothing to consider in that regard. And then just having a quick glance at the 4-hour, what we can see here is the fact that we are reacting to this program primary OB. I did actually manage to get into an entry this morning based on this range-based POI after this Frankfurt high of the day was validated by London right here, and I got into an entry right about here. However, as you can see, price came back and taking me out for break even, which is fine. Essentially now for the New York session, in order for me to get back into another entry, I need a break of structure to occur right here. Once that happens, I will consider entering based on a POI situated here. However, obviously now what will need to happen is I'll need to find a new valid POI. As you can see, everything in the chain is efficiently mitigated, so I'll need either a S&D flip, an extreme, or a chain. The extreme would be probably this POI right here, as it's associated with this chain right there and it's unmitigated. So once you get this break of structure, entry based on this may be valid, or alternatively we need to find an S&D flip, because what you can see is that we actually did change order flow temporarily in and around this area. However, for an S&D flip to be valid, we do need a valid reaction, and I think that valid reaction may potentially be right here. So we do have that reaction, and then obviously, like I said, we need this break of structure right here to then validate to us that this break even point will actually follow through. So our original break even point was right here. That was reached quite quickly, and then obviously for targets, we're targeting the external range of liquidity, but that's quite far, so I'll take a partial at 1 to 5 and then hopefully full TP at 1 to 10. Well, that was the idea for this morning. However, as you can see, that trade didn't necessarily play out and was a break even, so I'm just going to monitor this level. Once I get that body break, then I can confirm that shorts are back on, and then obviously we will continue. I think the thing with breaking even and then immediately taking a new entry here, it essentially defeats the purpose of the break even protocol, because the idea with break evens is to protect you so that if price comes back, this demand holds and it comes here, you don't want to be entering based on the assumption that it will hold, the supply will hold. You rather want to see that okay, there is some sort of order flow shift, and then we can go from there. So to summarize for the New York outlook, just like the London outlook, we are in this pro-trend for its primary leg with no reason to play to the upside because the pullback primary leg achieved its objective. Then from a 5-minute perspective, what we can see is we were waiting for a high of the day to be validated. Obviously Asia didn't validate itself, but Frankfurt did, and then that's how we got into the trade in London. And now for New York to play out, we essentially want to see this break of structure, and we're not necessarily wanting New York to validate a London high of the day, although if it does, it means that we don't necessarily need to cover the extreme high. We can have something in between this area. But for this S&D flip POI to be valid, obviously we need our fibs to anchor, our fib POI, sorry, I drew that wrong, our 38 or 50% level to actually tap this level. If it doesn't, then it essentially means that we'll trade with this chain extreme situated right there. This isn't necessarily a chain extreme, I'm just calling it that because it is a chain extreme, because we broke demand and then supply held right there, and then obviously this is an unmitigated POI. right there. Obviously for my entry I used the range just because you have this one big bullish candle and everything, all the bodies are within the high and low of that candle, so I was happy to use that range, and it's probably depictive of a 15-minute POI, as you can see right there. So that's that. But yeah, obviously I want to see this breaking, um, and then I'll evaluate if there's a POI that aligns with the fib, and if there is, I'll take this S&D flip, and if not, I'll set an entry for the chain extreme covering this high of today. So that's pretty much the New York outlook. I hope you have a good session, and we'll chat again for the end of day review.